here are the pillars of what is Inspire and the results that people get. So number one is purpose. What I've found is that when someone is connected to their purpose in their lifetime, they're off like a rocket, right? It's just like get out of their way. They become unstoppable. And purpose, yes, part of it is deciding and choosing, but so much of it is actually what is already stirring within. And what is stirring within cannot speak, right? Or is already speaking, but we cannot hear it because we're so busy in ourselves, right? So the busyness of the mind, the busyness of our life, the noise, right, that we have in our lives is what blocks what is actually stirring within. So one of the ways we actually uncover what is your purpose in the Inspire process, and actually this is the program where we uncover your purpose of the programs that we offer. The short version of the formula is actually to carve out that space. And the way we do that is through meditation, is through yoga practice in the time of the program and deep inner work, right? Like so much of the transformation process is clearing out what's in the way, not just adding more information. One of the mistakes that people make is that we always look for more information, more tools, more how-tos, more strategies, more knowledge. And I'm pretty sure you are, very intelligent already, right? You're not lacking in knowledge, right? You're here to learn some more, and that's a wonderful thing. But most of the time, it's not the knowledge that we're lacking. Most of the time is that we actually have too much knowledge, right? We know so much and we're just dependent on what we know, right? We're dependent on the facts, the figures, the knowledge, and we're dependent on that too much rather than actually trusting. So much of the work is actually clearing out what's in the way so that you can get in touch with what's stirring within. And what's stirring within, one of the things could be your purpose, right? That is just wanting to speak through you. And for some people, yes, it kind of, one of the streams of the program is a yoga teacher training. For some people, is to become a yoga teacher, an amazing, inspiring, magnetic, heartfelt yoga teacher, someone that can really touch lives, impact lives, right? And for someone else, it is actually nothing to do with yoga teaching or nothing to do with yoga at all. Yoga, meditation, the inner work, these are just tools that we use to help you get to your purpose and to realize it, to make it real, right, in your life, for you to craft it out and to live it out in your life, to make real, to make manifest. So purpose is one of the pillars of the program. The second pillar, I would say, is authenticity. Authenticity as in letting go of all that is not you, all the layers that is not you, so that you can get in touch with who is you. So one of the questions that we answer in this, so one of the questions is purpose, as in why. The other question is who. Who are you? And that's a big question, right? So that's one of the questions that we look at in the Inspire process. Who are you? When you get rid of all the noise, when you get rid of all the clutter, when you get rid of all the past stuff, right? Like some people call it trauma, whatever, stuff. Who are you really? Who is the you? When you really let go of everything else. And when you can get in touch with that you, and that you can speak through you without resistance, without a need to be liked, without a need to be pleasing, right? Not harming or anything like that, just with no apology. You being you. There's only one version of you in this entire universe. Okay, universe is too big. Let's talk about the world then. In this whole wide world, out of 8 billion people, the universe expresses itself in a very, very unique way, in one way, and that is you. There's only one you. Yet, so much of our time, we try to be something or someone else. We try to fit in some kind of a box. We try to please others. We try to appease others. And these are all recipes for suffering. So one of the reasons we hit the wall, we burn out, we get anxiety attacks, right? Panic attacks. We are depressed. I mean, of course you'll be depressed if you're not being yourself. But it is so normal to just be not you. And to be so lost in the noise that we don't, there isn't a consideration of like, oh yeah, who am I? So authenticity is, you could say, part of it is like finding your voice. I say finding, but like connecting with your voice. Is your voice the noise that's in your head? Or is there a greater voice, a quiet, steady, more centered, powerful voice within you that is wanting to come through? So if you remove all the noise, if you remove all the clutter, if you remove all the BS that's in the way, the stuff, right? Who is there? And when you start expressing that you, life starts to, because you're removing the resistance, so life can then start to move through you with no resistance. Then things start to happen like magic, right? In your life, things start to flow. And you're not stagnant or stuck anymore. So authenticity is the second pillar, and this work is going to put together so that you can live in your most authentic, powerful self. And as a yoga teacher, those coming to train as a yoga teacher, you become this inspiring, magnetic, heartfelt, impactful yoga teacher. And it's not just pretty words that I'm saying, they're very consciously chosen. Magnetic, because who you are is drawing people to you. You don't have to do something to pull them towards you, because you're being real. And there's an energy about you. There's a passion, there's a fire within you that people are like, I want some of that. There's a joy, there's a playfulness, there's a curiosity, there's something there, there's a spark in you. There's a spark of the divine in you. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. I want some of that. How'd you get to that place? That's what's inspiring, because you roll up the sleeves and you do the work. You're not just vomiting out some words that you read in a book, or it has to do with some pretty playlist or some incense and all of that. I love all of that too, by the way, but it doesn't mean anything, right? There's a lot of people that just, a lot of yoga teachers that are just talking pretty words, but you can tell that they're empty, they're not living it, right? But when you're living it, it touches people and it touches their hearts and it can impact people. And you don't have to say sometimes too much or anything clever, because it comes from a real place within you. So inspiring is not something you have to try to be. It is doing the work. And that's what we do in the Inspire program. You're doing the work. I can tell you it's not a holiday, but it's not obviously some like military boot camp either. Right? It's a really fun process, but we do get to it and do the work. So second pillar is authenticity. Third pillar is confidence. And over the years, I have several questions that you asked. One of the questions I asked to the group, the Inspire groups, or what is now known as Inspire, I'd say, who here is here to work on confidence? And about 95, 98% of the hands would go up. And let me ask you the question, how many of you here would like to be more confident in your life, right? To just have more confidence. And I really kind of sat with it, and this is not something I've read from anywhere. It's just kind of what came to me. And for me, confidence, or the expression of confidence is knowing yourself. And knowing yourself, in my opinion, from my experience of working with people, is not an end point. It's a journey. So confidence is expressing that you discover with no apology. Confidence is a byproduct of knowing yourself. It's not an endpoint. It's a journey. Right? And as you uncover layers and dimensions and facets and dimensions of you, it is about expressing that you into the world with no need for approval or apology. So confidence is a certain level of conviction within yourself, a certain level of centeredness within yourself, assuredness within yourself. some people say I'm comfortable in my own skin, but it's like it's more than that. Like you are in your center, right? In your power. And it's not something, again, that you are, it's not like like willing it to happen, right? It's not like mustering up some energy, using some life force. If you do that, you'll be exhausted, right? You can see when people are faking it, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about. And then there's people there's just a quiet confidence. There's nothing to prove, and they are not asking for any approval, right? They're just in their center. And you have that in you too. And that is part of the work that we do in this program. And one of the things that we do in this program, this process, is story work. And I'll talk about story in a few minutes. Let me get to it. So, by the way, good so far? Interesting? You're learning something, right? Like some of the parts of the framework and the process. Cool. This is some of the stuff I haven't shared before. So let's start with, I talked about why, and I was saying, I'm going to get to the what. So let's start with what it is that you want, right? And yesterday, I think we posted, right? My team and I posted the 10 mistakes, and I'm going to go through that. Actually, here I promised in the post, like I'm going to cover, not because I gave the mistakes, so I'm going to give you the solutions, right? I'm not going to just throw the mistakes at you, but you made it here, so you're here live, awesome. And some people are watching the recording, so I'm going to go through the mistakes in a minute and give you the solutions or my some answers anyway. But before that, we talked about why. Now let's talk about what. What is your vision for yourself? A year from now, 10 years from now. And I'm not just talking about the stuff. And it's nice to have stuff. It's nice to have money. I have nothing against it. Money is an energy, right? It's needed in this physical plane. But I'm talking about the kind of life that you want, the kind of person that you like to be. What are some of the emotions that you'd like to live in? What are some of the experiences you'd like to have? Who are you around? Who's around you? What are some of the experiences? What are you doing? What do you get to do on a regular basis? It's part of living in this vision. What is your vision for yourself? Maybe it is teaching yoga. Maybe it's nothing to do with yoga, and that's totally cool. Maybe it is, like you've seen on some of my Instagram lives, building an amazing family, a really loving, happy family. And that's a really cool vision. Why not? And for someone else, their vision is to change the world, transform lives. And for others, there's anything in between. And there is no right or wrong. It's your vision. What is your vision for yourself? And if you want some examples, you can go back through my Instagram lives and just watch. Over the last month, I've interviewed lots of, mostly our graduates, some people not, just living their version, their vision. 5, 10 or more years later, these are people like who have done this very program. You're getting the latest, greatest, most evolved version of the Inspire program. They did the early version 10 or more years ago. So you get to see the results and what they say about inner work, like this process back in the day, the early version of it. What's your vision for yourself? And then so often we do it the other way around. It's like we're working really hard towards something, but we're not clear what we're working towards. So it's like getting in a car and driving somewhere, and people go, "Where are you going?" Is I don't know, but I need to go in some direction. But do you know which direction? No, I'm just driving because I need to get moving. You could be driving around in circles. Right? What is it, N25? One of the, right? Just like you could be just driving around, right? It's kind of like that. So a lot of us are actually just being busy, running around in circles, not getting anywhere, but just being really busy, exhausted, burnt out, anxious, depressed, hit the wall, crash, burn, wondering what's happening. Go harder, faster, more, more, more. Rather than going, what is my vision? And reverse engineering it. I have a feeling my spelling is wrong there, but anyway, just pretend I didn't mess up my spelling, please. Not here to teach you English, right? Reverse engineering your vision. If my spelling is wrong, feel free to judge it. I'm not here to teach English, I don't care. Reverse engineer it. What are some of the steps that you would have to begin now so that in a year or in 3 or 5 or 10 years, the likelihood of you getting closer or hitting the mark on that vision is more guaranteed? Right? Like if you want a fit and healthy, vital body, right, that's got energy to navigate your day, maybe you need to start moving your body now. And as you do it consistently, like you'll see from some of our grads, like you'll see there's a testimonial from Flo Bayliss, who's now in Costa Rica. I think this one she said I can say, but that's a part of the information that I can't disclose, which is where she is. But she's an anesthetist consultant in a major hospital in the UK. And she came and did the training years ago. She did the last one I did in Sri Lanka. We don't do them there anymore. We may soon, who knows. And, you know, she's just taking a sabbatical from her job. And she's out in Costa Rica working at an eco lodge resort. And she's the yoga teacher there. She's loving life. She's let go of all her material, most of it. And she's realized, she said in that interview, if you haven't seen it, she said, you know, I realized I was living in this city that I can't name because I promise I won't, to, you know, do the job so I can afford the house and the life. So it was like this, you know, like I'm on this hamster wheel. And then she said she broke out of that, you know, and her Instagram handle gives it away. So I'm not giving it away. Her, you know, like she's in her 40s and she's loving life. Highly intelligent. And now she's trained in various different things. So just to give you an example, you know, her, like she's on her way, right, to her vision. So anything is possible, is what I'm getting at. So if you were to reverse engineer your vision, in addition, here's a bonus question to that. What's your first or next step towards that vision? I don't have that on a slide. I'm just giving it to you now. What's your first or next step to realizing that vision in whatever amount of time, a year, 5, 10 years, whatever? What is your next step now? First or next step? That's not on the slide. I'm just giving it to you here. What is your first or next step to realizing this vision? So vision, Miriam saying, I want to experience love on a deeper level, being with a loving partner, living in confidence and my own authenticity, that I can serve others, reverse engineer openness. CTFO is kind of a thing we have to say in a circle, is chill the fuck out. And story work, which I'm going to cover in a minute. Yes, I swear. I know I'm supposed to be all spiritual, but swearing and spiritual can go together. Okay, ready? Done?